One, two, three. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning everyone. Welcome to today's panel discussion on the teaching methods and reinforcement of second language in Malaysian primary school students. My name is Muhammad Haikal bin Said and I will be your moderator for this session. We have two esteemed and distinguished panelists with us today. Sir Haris Hanafi, who specializes in second language acquisition and pedagogy, and Sir Amin, an expert in education technology and innovative teaching methods. So, today we will explore key issues related to teaching a second language in Malaysian primary schools, discuss innovative pedagogical approach, and identify effective strategies for language retention. So let's get started with our first question. Teaching a second language comes with many challenges. Studies suggest that both students' capacity to learn and teachers' proficiency in the language play crucial roles in second language acquisition. So, Sir Harris, could you share with us what you think are the main issues faced in teaching a second language in Malaysian primary schools?
Well, thank you, fellow moderator Haikal. So, of course, certainly I will share you a few of the challenges that we faced. So, one of them is teacher proficiency. So, according to the statement that we have just said, teacher proficiency, which we can tell that many teachers may not have a strong command of the second language themselves, and will affect their ability to teach effectively. And moreover, students come from diverse backgrounds. Of course, we are in Malaysia, we are filled with multicultural people, and their motivation and perhaps exposure to the language itself vary greatly, especially in rural areas. For example, students might have limited opportunities to even practice English outside the classroom.
That's an important point. So, it's not just about knowing the language, but also how well teachers can teach it. Sir Armin, what are some other factors that make second language acquisition difficult?
For that, I would add that lack of engaging teaching manners. So it can hinder students' learning, that we have already known. So traditional methods like rote memorization and grammar drills can be ineffective because they do not encourage real life communication. So as we all know, additionally, students need consistent exposure and practice, so they need to do it many times. But if they only use English in the classroom and revert to their mother tongue outside, their language retention suffers. I would say like that.
Oh, okay. This brings us to our next question. Do teachers need to develop innovative pedagogical approach to improve second language learning? So, Sir Harris, can you share your thoughts?
Well, absolutely, Haika. So the first innovative thought is we can see from the slide is communicative language teaching, or in our language, it is known as CLT. Now, based on D.A. Wilkins, which is he is the professor of emeritus for linguistics at the University of Reading, where he emphasizes that CLT has been widely recognized for their effectiveness. And as we all know, CLT focuses on using the language in real world context. rather than just memorizing grammatical rules.
Mm.
So, by implementing CLT in the pedagogical field, it helps students to not just improve their communication skills, but it is also to improve their interactive activities through role playing and also discussions.
Hmm, that's really an interesting approach. So, I mean,
Mm.
are there any methods that teachers can use?
Yes, of course. So, for me, another effective approach is the things that the kids nowadays like, which is gamification and also digital learning.
See.
So, this means incorporating game element into lessons to make learning, what do we call it, more engaging. So, many research has shown that when students enjoy the learning process, they can retain their language better. So teachers can use a mix of non-digital activities like board games, as we all know, and digital gamification through educational apps to keep their students motivated in order to make sure that their students learn better.
That sounds like a fun way to learn. Are there any other strategies that can make language learning more meaningful and impactful?
Yes, I would like to add another one, which Amin has stated that gamification and digital learning is an effective way to actually teach students in second language acquisition. Therefore, I have come up with another innovative approach, which is task based language teaching. Now, we know it as TBLT, which is another method that focuses on learning through real life tasks rather than just grammar exercises. Therefore, we are implementing hands on experience rather than just giving them to read books and jot down notes. For example, student might have to plan a trip or even conduct interviews or even create a project using the target language. So by implementing these methods, students not only will understand the language, but their comprehension for English language or even the second language acquisition may improve significantly. Therefore, this makes learning more meaningful and even more practical for the students and the teachers.
Oh, I see. We have talked about different teaching methods, but why is innovation in language teaching so important? So, panelists two, what's your takes?
So, innovation. Why is it innovation is crucial? So, I think from my point of view, I would say that innovation is very crucial because students learn in different ways. So, some are visual learners, others learn better through hands-on activities. So methods like what we call it storytelling, project-based learning, and also technology integration, like I have said earlier, cater to different learning styles.
Oh, I see. That make much more sense. So, traditional one size fits all teaching doesn't work for everyone. So, Sir Harris, how does innovation encourage more engagement in the classroom?
Now, when we talk about today's generation of education, we are trying to implementing more on fun elements and try to make the students engage more in second language acquisition. So when we implement these innovative methods, it will encourage active engagement, which what we want as teachers from the students. So instead of we just passively listening to lectures, the students are actively using the language in real life context. Techniques like flipped classrooms, where students learn content at home and practice it in class. Also, this will help them to retain the language even better.
That's really a great point. And what about a 21st century skills? And how do this teaching method actually prepare students for the modern world?
So, as we all know, the nowadays world, in today's world, students need more critical thinking, creativity, and collaboration, and also communication skills. So, traditional route learning does not prepare them for this. So I would say like innovative teaching methods can help students develop these what do you call it essential skills while learning a second language, which is for us Malaysian English language.
Now, let's discuss how students can maintain their second language skills over time. So, Saharis, what strategies, can students use to improve language retention?
So we have many ways to actually improve their language retention and to also maintain their skills to speak English fluently. Now, one of the most effective strategy that I think everyone will agree that all teachers use is active engagement, where we are not only allowing students to just read or write, but we are allowing them that they should practice more on speaking, listening, reading, and writing regularly. Where it even stated in our FPK, which is the philosophy of education, it is stated that we are wanted to create students in the holistic development, where we want students to be physically, sociology, everything to be active. So like nowadays, teaching is not just about in the classroom. It's not just about in schools. Students can now learn their second language acquisition outside of the classrooms. For example, like watching movies or even listening to songs, they can actually develop their language retention over time and increase their skills in the second language acquisition. And perhaps for some students, they prefer to read books. Therefore, reading books in the target language, for example, English, can also reinforce their skills in the English language improvement.
That's really a great tip. So, Amin, do you have any additional strategies?
So for to me, I would say repetition and practice. This is one of the most important thing that we that all the students need because like most of us as Malaysian, English language is our second language, right?
Yes.
So we need to have more practice and more repetition into that kind of thing. For example, if we want to improve our English, we sing or we listen to a song. So if we do it many times, we do repetition many times, it can also it will improve our English better because repetition can make our tongue can speak that language better, and also when we do practice, when we sing, when we do practice in terms of writing or speaking, it also can help when it also can help us attain that language itself. So I would say that techniques like, for example, for repetition, they do have techniques. So we call it techniques like spaced repetition, where they review material at intervals, and it also can be highly effective because, like I have said earlier, repetition can help us to ensure that we remember and our tongue can speak the language better.
It's really great,
That's
Amin. But what about making learning more immersive?
That is a very great question. Now, we always question to make the learning more engaging, but yet how can we actually make the learning experience more immersive in the classroom, since we are actually implementing our L2 language in multicultural classrooms. So what I want to prefer here is what we call as contextual learning, where contextual learning, it helps students to learn in meaningful situations. So, for example, instead of memorizing vocabulary lists, they should learn words through real life interactions. Now, by learning through real life interactions, students can actually develop their sense of skills in English to be more effective. For example, when they tend to just memorize the words, they may forget it in the long term. As we know, language during this period of time, especially in the primary school era, students can retain the language even easier. So therefore, teachers might use or will use contextual learning to help develop their L2 acquisition more effectively. And also, I will want to add another one, which is multi-sensory learning. Now, multi-sensory learning, such as using gestures or visuals, and even doing physical movement, can even strengthen memory and retention. So from here, for example, we can see certain teachers are using a lot of body movements, a lot of gestures to emphasize what English was. For example, we want to present a table. We said this is a table. So students will know, oh, this is a table. They know what is a table, what is the shape of a table, what is the description for a table. So by learning these techniques, we will learn how to implement a very innovative pedagogical technique for the students to be more effective in the L2 language acquisition among ESL classrooms.
So I would like to add some more points. So about multi-sensory learning. So as we all know, in this 21st century era, so students need to learn or try new things. For example, like use multimedia. For example, like watching videos or use the what do we call it? Use the technologies. So I would like to add about incorporating multimedia elements. For example, like videos, sound effects, and also interactive simulation, which is it can enhance immersion. Like for example, for a history lesson, it can be brought to life through virtual tours of historical site to ensure that our students can imagine or can see the things that they need to learn in that kind of subject. So likewise in language learning, for example, student can participate in simulated conversation through videos. Uh, Maybe we can do it with virtual characters like games, of course. So it also can improve their speaking and listening skill in more engaging way because they are interacting in a real life situation, maybe with their friends, using games. So by making lesson more immersive, our students not only enjoy learning more, but also they can develop deeper connection with the subject and also with their friends. So maybe these kind of what we call this kind of
Methods.
methods, all of this can be implemented in every school in our country.
I
That's
see.
it.
Now, I want to thank you for Sir Haris and Sir Amin because we're coming to an end of our forum discussion. But before we wrap up, let's summarize the key takeaway from today's discussion. First is teaching a second language is challenging due to teacher proficiency and lack of student engagement. Is that correct?
Yes.
Second one, innovative teaching methods like CLT, TBLT, and gamification helps improve learning. The third one, Innovation is crucial for addressing different learning styles and 21st century skills. And last but not least, to improve retention, students could practice active engagement, repetition, and contextual learning. So, once again, I want to thank you, Sir Haris and Sir Amin, for sharing your valuable insight. And thank you to our audience for joining us today. We hope this discussion has provided useful perspective on second language teaching in Malaysian primary schools. Thank you.